So the intent of this video is, given that you have some API documentation and you have your cursor editor set up, can you build a UI which can utilize those APIs and you can get it done as soon as possible? So I was going through these APIs of MET Museum, and then I was able to find out that they have like couple of good APIs which we can use to display their article objects and go over the details of those and whatnot. And if you are a developer, you can very well go through these APIs and see, okay, this is a request, response, and whatever. But the interesting thing is we can give these details to our editor and it should be able to figure out how we can build interface out of this. Now, MET itself has its own website, but we'll try to build something which will be similar to, so I've created a rough sketch how I want things to look like. So we're pretty simple. I want like article library website where there are like multiple articles being displayed that are written from that APIs. Probably a card with the article name, and then if we click it should show some detail. Probably search, filter, and then some client-side pagination, because I don't think that API supports server-side pagination, but we can go that way route. I think even to build this might take a long time for someone. So we'll try to make it as simple as possible and as fast as possible. We'll be trying to keep it as simple as possible and build it with the minimum stack, which is like your HTML, CSS, and JS. We can go ahead and make it more complex if we want, but just for the sake of like simplicity and what we can build with the tool, we'll be trying to do it with this. So let's get started. I think we already have that page. We might need to add this documentation. So copy this URL of the documentation. We go to our new cursor tab that we have set up. So we go into the composer and say, okay, I want to create a article display website using MET APIs. Now we want to give reference to those documentation that we saw just now. So we'll try to add a new documentation, which was that URL, and then say this is my MET docs, right? And I'd say confirm, and it's getting referred over here. Yeah, so that's first thing. I want the web consider following when building site. First is it use HTML, CSS, JS only. Make it accessible and SEO friendly. Also make it mobile friendly or responsive, I would say, either one if it takes. And then the last one would be I want client side pagination. So with this much, I think it should be able to pick up things and then get started. Let's see where we go from this, right? So yeah, it got the intent that we want to display the artwork from the MET API and then get it done. So it's got HTML, CSS for styling, as we said, and app.js for the action stuff which will be requiring. We'll be using the local web server for this one, which will be our go live server. You can get that extension from the extensions over here. We'll accept the files for now and then see what we get, at least from the changes that it had started with. So we click on go live. We should have a server running and we should have the website all ready for us. So yeah, let's open a browser. I see. So if you go on to this URL, you can see it has pretty much pulled out most of the articles that are there. Oh, it's also added required filters, which we didn't tell it. And most probably, if we try to go to some other category, oh, it's trying to filter it as well. That's interesting. So I think this is pretty cool in terms of what we achieved in like just a single prompt. And let's try to see if it is also mobile friendly, which we told it to be. Yeah. So I think you can see this has got pretty much all the things that we required. But it has also got the pagination, but I don't see we have selected all of them, or we have a lot of, so let's say musical instruments, right? And say, okay, oh, I think the pagination is broken probably, or either it's broken or we don't have enough things to show. Okay, so let's go all and then see if we are able to actually see the pagination work, right? This is where, oh yeah, so we see 1 of 277, and if we go next we are able to probably go on to the article. So looks like pretty much it is working as we wanted it to be. Only thing is some of the articles might and might not show up based on the filter, but it's still working. And if we go on to this, let's see if the test works, right? Car, you have anything on car? I don't think so, but the images or the articles are coming based on that. That might be because the APIs that we are triggering are returning the data that way. We can try to see what's happening right on the backend side. So if we see, this is the exact API that our website is triggering. Now what we want is to see the request and the response. So yeah, so it's making the API call to this one and making the search query also based on whatever we want. So q is equal to car as we queried, and that's totally taking into consideration what we gave it as a reference, right? So we gave the reference of the MET APIs, which is this, and if we try to see if this API is already there, then we should be able to validate if it really picked up from there, right? Yeah, I think this is the one it's actually getting from. Only thing now is I think after we click on one of the article, it's not showing the detail, but that is something which we can give as a follow-up prompt to say, okay, I want to quickly go here. When article card is clicked, show a model with details of that article, make necessary API calls if required, right? And I think that should be sufficient for it to guess what we want to do. It's created the model thing, and then it will only appear if that particular card is clicked, and then it will also pull out the details based on which of the article was clicked. So that's what we want to do here. I think we can remove this for now and then accept and try to see if things work as we want. So if I click on this one, oh, it's loading the article and it's loading most of the details that we want. Oh, perfect. So this is what we wanted, I think, and it's pretty quick in doing that. In terms of the performance, we can just run a lighthouse report and see if it's also performant and SEO friendly and all those things, but it should pretty much work in that sense. Yeah, so in terms of best practices, definitely it will be lower, but other things are like all up to the mark, and we are able to get a good score on that one. So the performance of this website, even if deployed, will be pretty good. And I can see on all the screens it's able to adapt itself. So That in itself also is a bigger problem to solve if you are a developer. So if we want to go one step forward, we can try to see if we can move this into a React project and see if it's able to convert it. But that is something which is we are asking a lot. Let's try to see if we can do that. I think that would be a lot more to ask to this one, but let's try to see. So I want to migrate this to a React app, make necessary changes, and the additional thing that we could do here is give the React documentation, right, so that it's able to pull the details from here. I am not sure if this will be the right place to give it, or it would browse if required. Okay, let's try to see if we can give this URL and see it refers to the latest version of React. But because most of the time what will happen is model might create a React project in an older version. That's why I'm trying to give it the documentation so it can pull the details from there. Just add the documentation stuff, add new document, then we give this and say React dev docs. We confirm this and it's taking all of the things from there. Let's see what it does. This is again a very tough task to convert something from very basic into a React one, and I'm excited to see what we can do here. Definitely the way we run it will change now. We will not be able to run it from a web server as we are running right now. We would need a different way of hosting that. I think we can stop this server for now. Yeah, so it has made all the necessary changes, but one thing which if front-end dev in React is I don't see any package file getting created over here. I do see the components and stuff all being done, the index.js being here, and most of the things have been moved here, but I still see it's using the old JS format only. Oh yeah, it's got this thing. It's got the constructor. Okay, got it. So it has pretty much converted most of the code base into the React format. So let's try to see if we are able to run it with the web browser. I think it has done a different way of hosting it. It's probably directly importing the React library somewhere here and then doing it. Let's try to see if we can run it with just this one as we did earlier. If not, we might need to change the way how it's done. Okay, I feel nothing is affected over here. I still don't see that it is using React. So how is it able to do that? Okay, so a quick way to validate whether it has, oh okay, it has got the React, but how is it able to use that library is my question, because it has not added the library anywhere here. Then how is it able to do that? Let's see. So I will ask the project doesn't seem to be migrated to React. Yeah, exactly. So now it is actually adding a lot of stuff which I was expecting earlier to be added. Now if we stop this, now we have package JSON, we have this, and in the index, yeah, exactly, this is what I was expecting. So we have a root, and on this root it will actually load all these things based on, yeah, so on the root it will load all of this. So now I think it has got into what we wanted. Now the way we run it is we open the terminal from here and the top, then we go into this folder, we have all this. We'll need to do npm install first so that we load all the required modules that are required for React to run and execute. Yeah, so we got the node modules folder here, and then we can do npm run dev. And we should have our website on this URL. So let's try to open it. Okay, interesting. We got something at the initial place. So we'll just give this to him and try to see if he's able to fix it. CSS import issue, it was able to find out what the issue is and then reloaded. Okay, let's go back. Now we might have some, oh, we didn't accept the change. We should have something at least. Okay, not something but console errors. React is not defined. Okay, let's try to give this to dot import React. Okay, it's not imported. Okay, and this should be it. Yeah, so I think we got the things moved to React, but now the challenge is our whole formatting thing is gone. So let's try to see if we can prompt it to say, okay, my the UI seems to be broken. Can you improve the visual appearance? I see it is still using the vanilla CSS, but we can go one step further and then tell it to use Tailwind or something like that. That would be the next step. But I think for now, even to come to this state from converting HTML project to a React one is a bigger step that we have taken. Okay, and we have not accepted the changes. Now that we have, okay, we have a cool look and feel now, and I am doubting we have any errors. Okay, so there is some error at app this, but it's not actually breaking stuff. If we had to test something, yeah, it's able to filter out and do stuff. So I feel this much also is a good achievement in terms of what we have got. So we first started with nothing, which was like a blank project, right? So we started with API docs cursor, then we converted into HTML CSS project with something like this, and then got it migrated from that one to a React project, which is like also a major task for if you want to do it on your projects, right? Yeah, so That's it.